your arms.
Listen to the crowd.
This is a remarkable performance.
A world record, Deadly. Have you ever seen anything like it?
He can't believe it, but it just happened.
Hello and welcome to About Last Night, the show that brings you all of the swimming action here at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. My name is John Mason, hosting you throughout everything that's coming up over the next couple of weeks. And joining me tonight, once again, is the amazing Bailey Jackson. Hello, Bailey.
Hi, how's it going?
A pleasure. I've had a great day today, and we're being joined by two amazing guests, Anthony Ervin back again, and of course, James Gibson. James, super happy to have you here tonight to, of course, get some coaches' perspectives about, what these athletes are sort of going through. So from a coach's perspective, where do we sort of stand at this point, coming into the competition?
That's a really good question, actually, because the work's done, right? All the physical side is done. Well, first off, thanks for having me on the show. But the work is done. All the physical side is finished. So now we're playing a big mental game. So when you go to the pool side now, you're walking around and you get a lot of the questions like, how you doing? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. And this is kind of the gamesmanship is going. A lot of people today at the swimming pool today were doing something called the stingers. They're doing wake-up swims. Just before you do, and you see a few coaches walking around taking a few sneaky stopwatch times of the opposition, which, I was looking at today quite interesting. But now the work is done. It's all about the mental attitude. How are you going to go into racing? How are you going to approach the competition? What's your race process is like? What's your plan? What's your daily schedule like? So that's what we'll be talking with the athletes about.
And what does that preparation look like, both physically and mentally?
Look, you have your daily schedule. So World Aquatics and the IOC will provide a schedule of what's happening at what time in each session. So you'll know what time your race is. So men's 50 freestyle will go off at 21:23 on the 31st of August, for example. So what you do is you plan back your warm-up times and you sit down with your athlete and you have a sort of like an emotional contract. And you talk about what's going to happen on race day, behaviors, what they need from you as a coach. More importantly now, I think we get into this world where the athletes take a lot more ownership and leadership on what they're doing. There's very much less coach-led. So they take a lot of charge on what they're doing. It's that's the insight on race day. So I'll be meeting two lads later on in the week, and we'll be talking about how we're going to approach race day, who they're racing next to, what lane they've got, what the tactics of the people around them, and what to expect when it comes to that time. There for their moment.
And do you get nervous for them as well? Like at a big meet like this, I know you've got some big names racing along. Do you get just as nervous as the athlete?
For the coaches, it's worse because you're not in control. You have to relinquish that control, and it's over to them. So now it's a case of enjoying the experience, living, being a Paris Olympian, and how you're going to get the best out of yourself come race day. In terms of nerves, I stand upstairs, I get the sweaty hands, and you're invested emotionally, you've invested a lot of time into their performance, and that's every coach in the world. And if they tell you they're not, they're
lying.
They're telling
some fib. Well, you're talking about performance there, so I want to bring both of you guys into this because we're looking at a massive schedule, a big program, and some big races. So, do you think we've got the capabilities to get some world records here in Paris? And if so, who's going to get them?
I suppose it's very possible. The way that the Olympic Games is focused on by the athlete, that they very well could find their very best performance that they've been aiming at right here at this competition. I'd say it's a bit more challenging. The rigors of the Olympic Games, it's a little bit more frontier-like than a World Championship, so I say conditions are a little bit rougher. I say that even just to jump back into some of what you were talking about, the mental preparation is just navigating what is a more complex and rougher environment than what they may be more familiar with.
And sort of dialing that in, I suppose, to specific events that we've got here. If we look at day one, I personally think that women's 400-meter freestyle, with Titmus, we've seen her do it. We've seen her do it a few times, and she seems to be on top form. So, that's a race that I'm hoping to see. What about you, James? Who do you think we've got going there?
Well, I think there's obviously Titmus versus Ledecky is good. I love watching Katie Ledecky swim.
Yeah.
Just can't write her off. She's a racer.
Absolutely.
She loves to stand on the blocks and get involved. And you know what? That's stereotype a little bit. That's a strong American trait. They love to race. And I think that comes through their college system. They have a lot of stand-ups and a lot of opportunity to get head-to-head. But some of the races, I think, I think we've got lots of chances of world record. I've been in that pool, it's fast.
Oh, really?
It's electric. You're going to walk out 18,000 people in a very tight arena coming down. So I think, and Anthony's touched on that maybe it might happen in the finals, but semi-finals and relays, I think we're going to see some chances. So men's 100 free, there's a big mix. Pan Jianle from China, he's currently the world record holder. He did that leading off the relay in Doha. But then we've got David Popovic, who just won 46.9 the other day as well. He's in great form. Kyle Chalmers, you can't outright that guy off. Yeah. If he's next to you with 15 meters to go, he's coming. He's coming. And then you've also got a new sensation, Jack Alexi, out of USA, and I think that's going to be one of my races to watch. With men's 1500 free, Dan Whiffen.
You think he's going to do it?
He's got a chance.
Think he's going to do it? Yeah, I hope so.
And on the men's side again, you can't look by Léon Marchand.
Of course.
400 mètres 4 nage, monsieur.
Yeah. His French is better than mine. But over in the women, Gretchen Walsh, I want to bring you in, Tony, because of course the US, she had a stormer at trials, broke the world record at trials, and is obviously looking to improve that here. But it's only been a few weeks. The US hold their trials so late. Do you think she's going to do it?
I absolutely think it's possible that she can re-break her own world record.
Yeah.
There have been a number of weeks now. I mean, you're right, it's a few, but a few is enough to analyze what you did right. And I'm sure she looked back at that race with her coach. It was like, there were things that could have been better. So I'm sure they're looking at all those details to optimize performance here at the Olympic Games.
And Tony, you're experienced in breaking world records. You did it 24 years ago. Walk us through what that feeling is like in that moment. Coming out the pool, you realize, hey, I did it.
You're right, that was a long time ago. And it was short course meters. So is that kind of it's kind of like a soft world record when it's short course meters? But it was great. It was a similar situation. Somebody else had broken the world record at that meet, and then I stood up and broke it myself. So I wasn't aiming to do it. It was a pleasant surprise. I was just racing to win.
So those are the world records. I think we're definitely going to be seeing some, but we're also seeing some new stars sort of come up and some people that have really been on the world stage, I suppose, for a while, but this is their chance at the Olympics. But I really want to talk about Summer McIntosh because she's already a star in her own right. We've seen her dominate on the world stage. But that Olympic medal, I suppose, that she's gunning for, is that jewel in the crown that's just missing. Do you think she's going to get it?
Well, she's the most expensive swimmer on the fantasy league.
Yeah. Oh, is she? On yours?
On World Aquatics fantasy, making the fantasy team, she's the most expensive athlete. So, in the whole program. So she's in my team. Yeah. She's on my team. Yeah. But no, she's a young sensation, taking it all in her stride. Multiple world champion. If you look at her key events, 400 medley, 200 fly. I think the world is expecting her to have a breakout meet. It's easier said than done. But it's not just her, there's a whole group of youngsters. And what we do see from the Olympic Games is young swimmers, they can pop because they're not afraid of the environment. Sometimes, in swimming, you can know too much, but you can come and excite. Anthony Ervin in 2000 won the men's 50 free. Florent Manodou, 2012, come from nowhere, was ranked number 18 or 19 in the world, won the Olympics. So this does happen. This does happen in this environment. And I'm trying to pinpoint who these potential stars can be. And that's the exciting thing, trying to find who they are.
Yeah. I've got my eye on a couple, but you just never know.
Are you going to share?
Josh Liendo, I think for Canada, is going to be amazing. Bernadette Pilato as well. I think she's been looking super strong in the breaststrokes. Dominating like the 50s. I want to see what she can do over the 100. And I know she won in 2022, in Budapest, was world champion. Silver since then, so I know she's hungry for it, and I would love to see her do it. It'd be nice to sort of see her in the mix.
And touching back on Summer, she's swimming in a variety of different events. I know you mentioned a couple. Tony, I want to hear your input on what do you think she will actually win? Do you think it's one event? Do you think it's multiple?
I honestly don't know. I have I have no idea. I'm sure her preparation has been great. Yeah. She should want to send a message by making sure she's right there, if not the one.
Yes, we'll see what she does. And of course, those are the youngsters coming in, but we also have people doing comebacks, right? We're talking about these comebacks. You're the comeback king, Tony. Gold medal in 2000, gold medal again in 2016 in Rio. You understand that journey, right? When you've been on top to sort of have to come back and sort of reach that top again. Sort of talk us through your perspective on some of these athletes who are maybe approaching that or trying to make their comeback.
Part of it is a lot of the mystery. The mystique, right? The lore of the Olympic Games has been dispelled through your experience. But you still feel like you have something to prove just to yourself, right? In the 50 free at least, it's a race of you. There's no space to really like take a look and dig in. But all the other races, there is that. There is the fight. You can take a look and sneak a peek at your competition to see where you are throughout the course of the race. Wisdom offers a lot in this situation, but youthful vigor, I think, can really carry the day.
Absolutely. And from a coach's perspective, I'm curious to hear your opinion. When an athlete takes time off and they come back, they say, hey, I'm hungry for more, I'm ready. What goes through your head in terms of what that next step or what that first step looks like?
It's interesting because I've had that. I've had exact that. I was Florent Manodou took 3 years out to go and play handball after Rio Olympics, and he hadn't been in the water for 3 years. And I got that phone call saying, let's go again. So first off, you need to understand if they're serious, because what it showed with me was when he came back, some athletes try and make the softer option, where they might choose a program that's maybe a little bit softer for them. But he knew he was going to come to my program where I was currently coaching the best swimmer in the world at that point. So he was coming into a hard environment. So I knew he was serious about what he was doing. And I think we've seen some successful comebacks. Michael, when he went back with Bob, it's not like I'm not choosing the shortcut. I'm going back to what I know, and what I know is going to be successful. And it's a great journey, because I tell you what, it remotivates the coach. Yeah. So suddenly the coach is like, I've got this super talent, and now this is a challenge. And because they haven't swum, they're out of shape, completely out of shape, and you've got to start from zero. And they're also not the same person. So the Florent Manodou I coached in 2012 versus the guy I started back with in 2018 or 2019, it's a completely different person. You don't train them the same. They're also more adult. They've grown up. They think differently. So it's like you're working with a different person. You've got to figure it all out again, the jigsaw puzzle. But to be honest, I love that challenge. Yeah. Coaching a young startup, and if they win an Olympic gold medal, sometimes it can happen by accident. But coaching someone to win the Olympics when they're supposed to win the Olympics, that is a serious challenge. And we've got these repeat offenders. Adam Peaty, he's going for 3.
3.
Three doesn't happen by accident. 2 doesn't happen by accident.
Talking about Adam Peaty, you say these people are coming back a different athlete. Well, I was lucky enough to catch up with him a couple of weeks ago, so let's take a look and hear what he has to say heading into the Paris Olympics.
In terms of a motivation, I'm a very motivated, aspirational person, but really just living with myself in such a high performance world for 4 years or 3 years that it's been. I've literally been through the highest mountains and the deepest valleys on the way to get right here where I am now. Extremely difficult. Olympic gold the first time is hard enough. Trying to do it 2 times in a row is incredibly difficult. And the third time, we're yet to see if I can do it. If I do, brilliant. But each one has presented a different challenge, and I've also had to become a different person for each one. We never know what challenge is going to be out there, but I believe that I've had the best preparation this last year with the best coach and the best team around me. And it's a victory to even get on the blocks, and hopefully we make it all the way and see how we go. So this race for me it's all about, okay, how can I get my best performance? What anyone else does in the heats or semis or finals, I cannot control, but I'm a racer, so I like to see people and go for it. Obviously, Cheen, world champion, you've got to look at that. You've got to be like, you know what, I've got to take him in a sense of, if you want to win, you've got to take the world champ down. And then obviously, people who have been racing for a while, Arno, for example, as well, 57 swimmer, Nick Fink, always performs in the finals.
Well, there you have it. Another About Last Night done and dusted. Make sure you are tuning in tomorrow for our final preview before we head into the action on Saturday. We'll see you then.